Oh, blink. Wait, no, not that kind. Blink. No, not that kind either. Blinking. The jumping movement type that I've been maining since my precious Blade Dancer in Destiny 1. If there's anyone who knows just how amazing or frustrating blink can be, it's me. There are many things I want to teach you about blinking, especially how well it pairs with Nova Warp, but for this video I'm going to focus specifically on blink, so you can use any tree you like. If you want a more detailed video about my warp build, let me know in the comments, but for now we're just going to stick with blink. Let's get into the ins and outs of blink and what you need to know to blink like a pro. And yes, I realize how much that sounds like an infomercial. We're going to be diving into a lot of aspects of blink, and I'm just going to lay them all out right here for you so you can go through the video at your viewing pleasure. First up, we're going to have a directional and elevational control, and then evasiveness and recovery, the blink cooldown timer, how fun it is to bait supers with blink, how to best utilize blink with Nova Warp, and then just a general appreciation of how fast blink truly is. Oh, and for the record, every blink in this video will be using the exotic helmet Astrocyte first. Just trust me on this one, if you're a Voidwalker running blink in PvP, you want this exotic on. It not only increases blink distance, but also decreases the cooldown between blinks and readies your weapons faster in and out of blink, and your radar stays on. Honorable mention to Controverse Hold for stronger handhelds and Necrotic Grip for one-tap melees, but for the overwhelmingly vast majority of the time, you'll want to be running Astrocyte first. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, direction. This one is pretty straightforward. Whichever direction you are moving your analog stick or WSAD keys is the direction you'll blink. However, to fully utilize your blink, you'll want to combine the direction with your momentum and jump height to fully maximize your blink. Easy, right? Basically, controlling your trajectory all comes down to your velocity, momentum, and elevation. Think of your initial jump as an arc or a parabola. As you can see by my beautiful illustration, and yes, I'll be taking commissions soon, blink has multiple directions it can go. You can double tap immediately and blink straight into the air, or jump while running and wait a little bit to blink straight forward, but to maximize the distance, you press your jump button at the apex of the parabola. This way you find the perfect combination of height and distance to make you travel the farthest you possibly can. So that makes sense on paper, but Destiny's maps aren't as straightforward. Well, the maps that we still have at least. It all comes down to utilizing that arc, timing each jump and blink to move the way that you visualize. For example, if I'm blinking to something high like the ledge on Bannerfall, I'll want to blink pretty quickly after jumping to get a higher blink. If I want to blink to the boxes from here, I can blink more at the end of my arc and blink through the gap to instantly show up at the boxes. This can be a little daunting at first, but just hop into a private match and practice blinking up to ledges of different heights and different areas of the map, and you'll get the hang of it pretty soon. When you combine these arcs and these jumps, you can be one of the quickest, most evasive, and honestly most annoying guardians in the Crucible. Which brings us to our next section, evasiveness, both in aggressive like flanks or recovery like retreating.
Psych!
So I thought about something when I was editing last night, and I wanted to throw it in before we get into the evasion section. When you jump in Destiny, you can move your analog stick or your keys and create momentum that wasn't there when you were running. It's very similar to like GTA when you go off a jump and you can control your car in the air. It doesn't really make sense, but you can do it. Well, this does apply to blink as well. So I'll jump from here without creating any momentum, and I'll end up pretty far away from this marker. This has saved me multiple times with blinking potentially off the map, and it can come in handy.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Blink is amazing for getting into or out of situations. It's especially fun as a sniper main because not only can I get to lanes quicker or close gaps quickly, I can also disengage if a fight's not going my way. Even blink shotgunning is pretty viable again, and I actually have a video about that and might make another one soon if you want to check that out. A shameless plug. One of the best tips I can give you in regards to being evasive on this class is sliding after a blink. When you're in a gunfight you don't like or need to run away from players, the best way to stay alive is breaking the line of sight, and nothing compares to blink in this way. Blink up to a ledge or a wall and then sliding to safety has saved me more times than I can count. Another quick tip, I like to pair blink with a 100 recovery build, not only for getting your rift back quickly, but for how quickly you start regaining your health. You can get hit, blink away, And pretty much as soon as your blink animation is done, you'll start regaining health, making it so you can almost instantly re-challenge or help your teammates in a different situation. Ring around the rosy. That hit me.
There's one on me, like down by the door. He's going up the mid. Up the mid, yeah.
Fall to darkness.
Run, Joey, run.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blink! Another tip, which is one of my favorite things to do with Blink, is the JOverrated patented double blink.
To goalie challenger like that.
You like that, Blink? If you really need to create some distance or get away from a fight, double blink is always in your back pocket. Remember the arc I told you about? The same idea can be applied to a blink arc, just on a bigger scale. If you blink once up into the air, you can blink again in mid-air for even more distance. The only thing that can interfere with this sometimes is what we're going to be talking about next, the infamous blink cooldown timer. All right, on to the bane of my existence, the blink cooldown timer. Long story short, you get 2 rapid fire blinks in a row before an invisible timer prevents you from blinking again. The first initial timer is about 2 seconds before you can blink again, and then there's a big timer if you blink 3 times in a row, which is about 3 to 4 seconds. It sounds scary, but you can cover a lot of distance with just 2 blinks. And just FYI, without Ash's Sight, the cooldown is even longer and you can only blink twice before the long timer is active. This thing gets me killed to this day, and it's one of the most frustrating aspects about Blink. I would advise in most situations trying to only blink back to back under severe circumstances, because as good as Blink can feel, not being able to blink is the worst. You literally will feel like a sitting duck. You do get used to it though, and the nice thing about it is most of the time the cooldown will wear away while you're fighting, so you can blink in, fight, blink out to recover, or blink to your next engagement. No! 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 My clip! Next up, which is probably my favorite aspect about Blink, it's baiting potential.
Weak on you, Joey.
Blink is so good at baiting supers and abilities that some have even called me a master of baiting. Supers are so incredibly good, which you already know, but especially in round-based games like Trials, where a lot of the time you can single-handedly win a round with one, if you're able to remove just one of the supers from the enemy team, it's huge.
Right on you, super.
I know.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Hi! Now, baiting roaming supers is possible, it just takes a little more finesse and creativity. You blink away, breaking line of sight, or get crazy and just blink past them or over them or next to them. But where Blink really shines is with shutdown supers like Thunder Crash or Silence and Squall. Oh my god, how mad is that guy, chat? Super quick crash course. What you want to do is when you hear the super initially being popped, like a Thunder Crash noise or the Revenant Hunter's ice getting ready to be thrown, try and blink away at the exact moment the super would hit you. Astra Sight can give you that little edge you need to vertically dodge most shutdown supers, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't the most satisfying thing in Destiny. And it makes me wonder just how many controllers I've inadvertently broken.
That's a pick, that's a pick.
Let's go!
Careful.
Coming out.
Later.
Oh, whoa, that was a weird angle.
I don't want what you're selling. Oh my god.
No! His invis is just standing there. He has super now.
I know.
He's pushing out, pushing out.
Watch this.
Let's go.
Real quickly, I want to touch on Nova Warp and its movement with Blink. When using Nova Warp's Super Dash as its movement, the super is very underwhelming. But when you use Blink as the bulk of your movement, and then your dash for a quick directional control, the amount of distance you can cover in such a short amount of time is insane. As you can see in the background, when you use Nova Warp's Super Dash as its movement, it uses up its super pretty quickly and you don't get very far. However, using the strategy just mentioned, you use blink to cover most of the distance, you can almost circle Javelin 4 completely before running out of your super. Granted, this doesn't take into account your actual explosions for kills, but the point still stands. The last but not least aspect of blink isn't really a tip or strategy, it's just an appreciation. Not a lot of people know that blink, when paired with Astrocyte, is actually the fastest subclass in the game, especially since top Dawnblade Icarus dash was nerfed to just 1 dash. But even having 2 dashes, blink could still beat them in a race. From point A to point B, blink is the best mobility in the game. And I raced one of the best Dawnblades back in the day when we were doing Legend Comp Help, twitch.tv/rhythm with the routes, and I still beat him. So he can attest. That's about all I have. Thank you for watching. It's a running joke at this point with my community that I've been trying to get my YouTube up and running for so long, and it really does feel good to get this one out. I hope you try out Blink soon and see if you like it. It is really slept on, honestly. I'll leave you with some bloopers about how silly blinking and the invisible walls and barriers and ceilings can be, but overall, it's still so much fun to use. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like,
comment, and subscribe.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
Woo! Got him. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's alright.
Are we gonna talk about that, chat?
I can get a PC.
What the f was that? How did I just lose all my health? Maybe I shouldn't make a blink video, dude. Don't do it, chat. Don't force yourself to this pain.